Disclaimer: I am not a game developer, designer, programmer, or creator. I am not a professional by any means. I am just someone who likes horror games and enjoys analyzing the things that I like. Also, this video may contain flashing lights, loud noises, and spoilers for Monstrum. Wiggity wiggity, I'm Taster256, and I'm going to tell you about The Search for the Perfect Horror Game, a series about the study and analysis of horror games in a never-ending quest for the mythically perfect horror game. In this video, I will be taking a look at the game Monstrum, and how it uses multiple choices to give the horror experience that anyone familiar with this game knows. Monstrum, released by Junkfish on May 20th, 2015, has you running about on a boat, and while normally boats have like a crew and whatnot, it's just empty now. You wake up in your room, unsure of what's happening, but feeling uneasy. Searching around the boat, you find that you are not the only person on the ship, but you'll wish you were. And that's because the others on the ship are the monsters, hence the title, Monstrum. You quickly decide to get the hell out of Dodge, and since you are on a boat that is prepared for emergencies, there are many different ways you can go about escaping. And that is where the gameplay comes in. All the different escape routes have things that need to be done if you are going to go about using them to escape, and you must find all the necessary tools and parts, all while avoiding the monsters strewn throughout the ship. And of course, it won't be easy. Since you can't be sure of where the monsters are until you run into them, you have to be prepared to run and hide at a moment's notice. And since you need a wide variety of items to complete each route and have a limited amount of inventory space, you will need to strategize. There are 3 different monsters: the Brute, the Hunter, and the Fiend. They each work in a different way. The Brute is first, being the basic monster, simply chasing you around. It can bust down doors with ease, is very loud, and a bit slow. There is also the Hunter, which floats around, making a much quieter noise, but makes a cloud which can be seen through walls, and it is exponentially weaker, taking multiple hits to kill you, though it can hit you from farther away. The last is the Fiend. The Fiend crawls around, making it harder to spot, and can crawl through vents and spawn on these pustules. And yes, it will camp certain spots like the bitch it is. Until you actually see them, you'll have to be careful of which monster is chasing you, and where they're at, meaning you'll be on edge as you explore the tight hallways and sharp turns of the ship. And you have to explore around the ship. All 3 ways of escaping, the life raft, the helicopter, and the submarine, are all in terrible condition and must be repaired before you can use them, so you must repair them. But the things needed for the repairs are strewn about the ship, so to do anything, you must explore around, searching each and every room to try and find the necessary pieces. But there's a problem. You only have 6 inventory spots. Sure, there's a backpack, which if found, can give you more inventory, but you don't always have that. So you have to fix everything while not being able to hold everything you need. Sure, you always have enough space for all of any one route's items, but not all the items are for the routes. Most of the items in the game are there to help you survive as you try to fix whatever escape route you're currently trying to use. There are distractions, which can lure monsters, light sources, which can be used to help you, see. There are glow sticks, which can be used as markers to help you identify parts of this repetitive map. There are the fuses, which are a very limited item, which you can use to reactivate certain parts of the map or open special doors. And then there is also the fire extinguisher. All of these items take up space in your very limited inventory, meaning that it's very easy to run out of space. What this leads to is situations where you have to choose between items, dropping one where you're at, potentially losing it if you can't remember where you dropped it, all while being hunted by a monster whose position you don't always know. And the item management wouldn't be too bad if there's just one thing you had to fix, but there are 3 separate routes, and one may become suddenly easier than another, so it's beneficial to work on all of them until one of them is fully usable. But this is all made unreasonably harder when there's a monster breathing down your neck. And that tension is where the game shines. Since item placement is mostly random, you have to be able to explore around, sneaking from place to place in the hopes of finding something useful. You also have to pay attention, as the different decks of the ship all blend in, and you can get lost fairly easy. It especially sucks when you find an area you haven't been to yet, but are immediately chased out, meaning you'll need to pay attention to where you're going, or else risk losing the place you're at. Monstrum was released by Junkfish in 2015, and has you running around a derelict ship in the middle of the ocean, trying not to die as you repair one of 3 different vehicles to escape, all while being chased by a monster which can be anywhere on the ship. All the different variety the game provides create unique challenges that create their own feeling of horror. Although I feel like the game is a bit too long, ignoring the fact that I could have beaten it in 30 minutes if I knew what I was doing. It feels just a bit too long to not have any saves in it. I can understand why it doesn't have any, but that doesn't make it any less annoying. If I've been playing for an hour and a half and I want to get off for the day and, though this may make me less of a gamer, take a shower before work, I have to decide between losing time to do things or losing all my progress. I know it's not that long or that difficult of a game, it's just annoying. Also, it's really easy to run into a monster that you didn't even know was there. I know that you just need to pay attention, but it's still frustrating. However, this is a simple game, and it doesn't really present itself otherwise, so I won't be too harsh about it. I rate this game a 6 out of 10. It's a fun game, but it can be a bit frustrating. It also doesn't have the greatest replayability. Sure, there are 3 different escape routes, but after completing all 3, there isn't much motivation to play it simply for fun. There are also notes telling of what happened on the ship, and audio recordings that are way too loud for my comfort.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Still in that work shift, but doing some...
But I don't feel motivated to search for those. I don't need to know what happened. I can put 2 and 2 together. However, I feel this is a great setup for a game. I know there's a sequel to Monstrum, but I haven't played it yet. However, I feel like if it improved any of the problems with this game, it will be phenomenal. This game has a lot of potential and was great for its time, but with newer games that do what it does, but better, it doesn't seem as scary. If Junkfish, or anyone who wants to listen to my ramblings, somehow see this, keep making games. You can only improve. And that's that. This is definitely a much shorter video than the last one, but I also wanted it to be, so I could try out some other stuff, like background music. God, I hope it fits and is not too loud or quiet. I'm still learning this whole video making process, but I am slowly getting better. After all, I can only improve. But anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching and or listening to it. Have a great day and stay safe. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to continue working on my gas can collection.